Good evening, everyone. I'm Nathan, here with my wonderful wife, Laura.
Hello.
And we're going to take a very quick look at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Heroes in a Half-Shell card game. Fast and fun action.
It's not that fun.
No, so
sorry.
Apparently Laura had this, or she knew someone that had this.
I knew someone who had it when it was out. Yeah, when it came out.
New in 1990. So, yeah, it's played with cards. It's not very good. And even before we film this, we've played a number of rounds. We've read the instructions, and it's still quite hard to understand and get my head around.
Well, it's not hard to understand. It's just hard to explain, I think. And even when you get going, it's something.
So anyway, the aim is to basically not fill up your score sheet. Think of like, was it horse or something?
Not fill it up. You don't want to cross out all the letters of the word turtles. I think it's probably best to open it. I don't think you can really see the parts that well there.
Alright, so we have the instructions. We'll have uploaded down below. Which is almost vital for this game because it's...
You really need the instructions. If you just got these cards, you wouldn't really know how to play.
No, so we have some score sheets including the original owner's original scores at some point.
How about we look at a blank one, might be easier.
So you write the player's name and each player has turtles. Yep.
You want to be the last one with letters in that word left.
We have
plastic. So you play in rounds.
We play in rounds. You have like plastic turtle shells, which basically just act as, you know, if you're playing Snap, and whoever like snaps first gets it. And it's sort of like whoever gets this first wins the round if it's...
Yes, and it's the last person to get one of the shells because you put in one less than there are players. So if there's two of us playing, there would only be one shell to grab. So the person who doesn't get it crosses off a letter.
Think musical chairs.
Yes, exactly.
And then
musical turtle shells.
Then you've got the turtle cards. So they just say
Heroes in a Half-Shell.
And you got all the turtles. You got Splinter, April O'Neil, and Shredder.
They come in green and red as well.
You really should get some pants. Yep. So they come in, as Laura said, red and green varieties. And the aim is to basically deal out... This is the part which is the tricky part. You deal out 4 cards to everyone who is playing. Then whoever goes first picks up a card, so they've got 5 cards in their hand.
Yeah. So say you might have... Let's just... Say you started with those, you would then pick up another one, and then maybe this is what you now have.
So you should always have 4 cards in your hand at the end of your turn, so then you'd pass one of these cards, I think, face down to the next player.
Yeah, so for example, maybe Nathan didn't want this one. He'd pass that to, say, me if I was a player 2, and then this is what you would have.
Yes, and then Laura would then look at the cards. If there's another player, she would then do the same thing, discard a card to the next person.
Yes, not into a discard pile, but to the next player.
And then when you've gone through all the players, that last player then discards that 5th card and it goes into a discard pile, and then the round starts again until someone's got a match of the appropriate cards, which we'll explain right now.
Yes, so there's a few different ways that you can get your full matched set.
Okay, so if you've got 4 cards with the same turtle in the same colour, then you will quickly go grab a shell, and then the other players will then try and grab the remaining shells or however many plays you've got.
Yes. So it's only the first player who actually gets the match that is guaranteed a shell, basically.
Yes, you can have 4 different turtle cards, so obviously each of the unique turtles.
Yes.
You can have 2 doubles, but they have to be a green and a red, so you can't have...
Yes, where are they? So like 2 of the turtles are on the red and then the other 2 are on the green so that you have the full set of Ninja Turtles.
And then you can also have 1 double and 2 singles with same colour background. But they've all got to be the unique turtles.
Yes, I'm just trying to find who's not in each one. So you'd go something like that, for example. I don't think I've got the right 4, but that would work as long as they were the 4 different
turtles.
Characters. Yes.
The other ones you can do is you can get 4 Splinters and 4 Aprils. When we played, I don't think there's actually too many Splinter or April cards comparative to the turtles.
There isn't, so it's very unlikely that you would end up with 4 of either of those cards, because I think there might only be 4. I'm just having a look through the deck. 2. Should have checked this before we started filming.
So it says 2 to 6 players, but when you're playing with 2 players, whoever gets the pair first automatically wins because they're of course going to grab the shell first.
Yes.
Which means sometimes I'll start a round, and as soon as I deal out the cards, Laura grabs the shell and she's won because she just happened to be dealt.
Yeah. There's about 5, I think, in there each, or 6, so...
Now, the only other wrinkle in all of this is the shredder card. Any player stuck with the shredder cards at the end of the round, so if you've grabbed all the shells and you happen to have a shredder card, you lose an extra letter in the turtle. So if I lose and don't grab a shell in time, I lose 1 letter for not grabbing a shell in time, and a 2nd letter for shredder.
Which could be pretty detrimental if you've already lost a few other letters, and then, you know, maybe that's the end of you. Maybe you're out of the game with that.
Obviously, if you've got more cards in your hand than you should, and you're caught, you lose a letter. If you have an incorrect hand, you take a shell, but you don't have the correct amount of cards.
Yeah, so maybe you accidentally thought you had 4 different turtles, but actually 2 of them were the same, and you just weren't paying attention.
Then you lose a letter.
Yep.
And you keep on going until someone has all of their score filled up and crossed out. And they're out of the game.
Until the last person has some left. Yeah, so everybody else has to be out of the game. So if you're playing with 6 people, it could actually take a while to knock out 5 of them, depending on, you know, how often you win. But I think it's not the most exciting game, but you definitely want to have more players if you are going to play it.
It's playable with 2 players, but it's extremely boring and dull.
Yes, because several times Nathan has dealt me a hand and I've been like, well, I'll just take the shell, I'm done.
Yeah, and so it's not a great game overall. There are much better. I think they reviewed the actual board game for Ninja Turtles.
I think we might have done a couple of them. There's more than one, but
yeah, this is definitely
at least one of them is up on the channel if you want to check that out. I think this is definitely one that's bigger for nostalgia reasons rather than gameplay.
It like I said, the actual artwork is really nice.
Oh,
but it's
just had a card flying.
It's a pity the game doesn't really go very good.
Yeah, but again, I think if you played this as a kid when it was new, maybe you remember it in a more positive light. But coming back to as an adult,
yeah, and if you don't have any nostalgic sort of connections with it, and you're playing it just blind, it's not a very good game.
Yeah, which is funny because I do. I remember it fondly, and then we got it again and played it. I was like, oh. If you enjoyed watching this video, give us a thumbs up. Let us know down below if you've played any of the Ninja Turtles games. So maybe this one, what are the others? Search for Shredder and Pizza Power? Yep. Let us know if you've played any of those either as an adult or maybe back when you were a kid when these came out. Hit that subscribe button and check back next week. We have videos most Tuesdays.
Most Tuesdays.
Yes, we've been a bit lax lately, but hopefully we'll be back on track. Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.